मेरी आवाज सुनाई दे रही है सबको?
Yes, ma'am.
Just give me a second. ये एमडी वालों को करूंगी मैं। ये almost we are done. स्क्रीन देख रहे हैं आप?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
ओके, गुड, वेरी गुड। तो अच्छा, मेरी ये लैपटॉप में थोड़ा चार्ज कम है, बट आई गेस इंशाल्लाह विल मैनेज। थोड़ा सा छोटा ही टॉपिक है आज, इंशाल्लाह लेट्स कंप्लीट दिस। तो जस्ट टू रिवाइज, लास्ट क्लास में हमने क्या किया था? हम हैं बुद्धिज्म पे, और वी डिड द 4 noble truths. We did the introduction to Buddhism, what how Buddhism was formed. The founder is Gautama Buddha. How did he change his path? How did he create this philosophy and this religion? That we did. Uske baad then we moved to the other topic that's in our syllabus, which is the 4 noble truths. And just to revise what the 4 noble truths are, number 1 was that there is suffering, dukkha,
Suffering.
right? There is suffering, meaning life is full of suffering. You can see it in on your screen. Life is full of suffering, which is dukkha. This is the first noble truth. कि मतलब हर जगह अगर देखें सिर्फ suffering और दुख ही है. That's what Buddha actually saw. He saw this as a universal truth. Also, let me add, just like our regular classes, जिस तरह हम अपने regular classes में करते हैं, we take our notes. So you'll have your notebooks out. You're going to take notes. I'm going to dictate something, and some things जो आपके screen पे है, you can write from the screen as well. Inshallah, I'll share this PDF with you as well. मगर तो भी notes लेना जरूरी है. The first noble truth is dukkha. This is the 4 noble truths. The first noble truth is dukkha, that everything is, everywhere there's suffering. And life is full of suffering and sadness. This is the universal truth. And birth, sickness, old age, death, anxiety, desire, despair, all such happenings and feelings are based on suffering. So this was the observation of Buddha, that everywhere we see there is suffering. In every stage, be it birth, sickness, old age, death, anxiety. So this was the first noble truth. Number 2, moving on. Suffering has a cause. Dukkha samudaya. This is the second noble truth that we had. Suffering has a cause. Now this is very important. I want you to understand this very well. Ki as we can see, ki Buddha jo hai, he is giving forward like a causal theory. He's talking about causation, cause and effect. So that means he does see कि अगर suffering है in the world, there's suffering, there has to be a cause for it. He doesn't stop at, okay, life is suffering and that's it. No, he says there is a cause to it. And this is a central theme जो हम पढ़ेंगे आज का जो हमारा है, which is their theory of causation. If you remember, we've studied causation before. आपने पिछले semesters में भी पढ़ा होगा. Causation is the theory of cause and effect, right? Causation is the theory of cause and effect, the study of cause and effect. How do causes produce effects? And why are effects always preceded by causes? Effect होता है, उससे पहले cause होता है, और cause पहले होता है, फिर effect होता है. There's an order to it. So this is the theory of causation, and we can see कि Buddhism में ये एक important theme है. That's it. Life has the suffering has a cause. The second noble truth जो है दुख samudaya. So we wrote when we were taking notes last time that everything in this cosmos has a cause and nothing exists and happens without a cause. This is the view of Buddha, a central theme in Buddhism, that everything in the universe has a cause. And in this case, suffering would also have a cause because we're talking about suffering. तो उसका भी कोई वजह होगी, कोई इल्लत जिसको बोलते हैं उर्दू में वजह, जो हम यूज करते हैं नॉर्मल उर्दू में, वजह है. ठीक. उसके बाद Buddhism explains suffering through a chain of 12 causes and effects, commonly known as the doctrine of dependent origination. ये अब हमको पढ़ना है. I'll go to that. This is Pratitya Samutpada. That is the theory of their causation. So you can write, यहाँ ये वाला line जरूर आप लिखिएगा कि Buddhism explains suffering through a chain of 12 causes and effects, which is commonly known as the doctrine of dependent origination or theory of causation. We'll go into that, don't worry about it, but just to give you a introduction. Anyways, just to give you a little bit, at the end of the day, what Buddha is going to say is that the root of all suffering is desire. क्योंकि इंसान में एक किस्म की डिजायर है जीने की, खाने की, पीने की, लाइफ इन जनरल की. Because of that desire, there is suffering. And he says desire is all pervasive, matlab desire is everywhere. Pervasive, all pervasive means everywhere. Desire for possession, like we like to possess things, enjoyment, desire to enjoy life, and having our own existence. These are all forms of desire. This is all causes of suffering. These are all causes. This desire is the cause of suffering. अच्छा, हमने पढ़ा थर्ड नोबल ट्रूथ क्या था हमारा? सेसेशन ऑफ सफरिंग या दुखा निरोधा. सेसेशन मतलब एंड, the endings of suffering. How do you end this suffering now? Okay, so we understood that suffering has a cause, but that means if we can understand it has a cause, that means we can end it. Let's end it. So he says if suffering has a cause, the seeker has to destroy this cause to stop suffering. अगर हमें समझ आया कि किस चीज की कुछ वजह है तो चलो उस वजह को ही खत्म कर लेते हैं, right? So desire has to be extinguished to stop suffering. This desire जिसकी वजह से suffering होती है, we understood suffering to be a effect of desire. So let's just finish that desire. That is what Buddha is saying. That is the third noble truth in Buddhism. The desire has to be extinguished to stop suffering. Now, nirvana is the state of being without suffering. Nirvana is their moksha. If you remember, we studied moksha is liberation. Nirvana is the same thing as moksha, but Buddhism में उसको बोला जाता है nirvana. ये moksha नहीं बोलते हैं, ये nirvana बोलते हैं. ठीक? And nirvana, ये जो moksha है, liberation है, ये क्या है? It's a state of extreme and supreme happiness and bliss. ना कोई suffering है, ना कोई desire है, बस खुशी और आराम और सुकून. That's according to Buddhism. And finally, we went to the fourth noble truth, जो है दुखा निरोधा marga है यहाँ. Oh, I think I had written magga. That's wrong. That is wrong. So this is marga. This is marga. You should correct your notes. Last time हमने notes में magga लिखा था. That's a wrong spelling. It's marga. So now we know that suffering has a cause. We know that this cause can be ended. हम खत्म कर सकते हैं इसको और suffering भी उससे खत्म हो जाएगी. मगर last thing is खत्म करें तो कैसे करें? That's the question. And this is the fourth noble truth. And what is said is the ways to destroy suffering consist of the practice of the eightfold path. The eightfold path in Buddhism. even though this is not in your syllabus in particular, magar I think this is important that we should talk about it a little bit, ताकि अगर आपको एक डिटेल्ड क्वेश्चन आएगा बुद्धिज्म पे या फोर नोबल ट्रूथ्स पे, आप इसकी वजह से उसको थोड़ा सा अच्छा लंबा कर सकते हैं, ठीक है? तो लेट्स सी, लेट्स गो इनटू दैट. एक मिनट, ऐसे रहना. हाँ, तो क्या है, what are the ways? Now we want to finish off this suffering. According to Buddhism, let's finish off this dukkha. You'll have to keep your mics muted. Sub students will mute their mics. Everyone should mute their mics. Okay? Okay, so what are the ways to destroy this suffering? Dukkha, Nirodha, Marga. If you know, let's say the word Marg is used as a place. अगर दिल्ली में जाते हैं, शांति मार्ग, it's used as a place. जिस तरह हम पोरा use करते हैं, अवंती पोरा. So marg is a place. Marg is a path. A place or a path. तो वही अब हम path जानना चाहते हैं, किस तरह हम suffering को destroy और खत्म कर सकते हैं once and for all. Once and for all, just get this nirvana, the state of nirvana, and to destroy suffering. So according to Buddhism, you can get the state of complete destruction of suffering, and उसके बाद जो nirvana का stage है, by the eightfold path. You'll have to write that down. Eightfold path. जब आप fourth वाला noble truth पढ़ेंगे, उसी के साथ आप connect करेंगे eightfold path. eightfold path मतलब 8 चीजें हैं, 8 चीजें हैं जो करनी है just to get this thing done, just to destroy the suffering. And what is that? Let's get into that. What is that? Number 1, लिखेंगे आप eightfold path in Buddhism. These are just 8 things that you'll have to remember. Right view. Number 1 is right view. The eightfold path in Buddhism, number 1 is right view. Matlab, you have a correct vision of life. You have a correct vision of life. आपका view, आपका नजरिया जो है, वो correct है. एक मिनट आप रुकेंगे, मैं ये चार्जर लगाऊंगी इसमें. ऐसे रहेंगे आप. तो eightfold path में first है right view. Right view मतलब एक सही नजरिया. The right perspective to life. It's also called samyak drishti. Samyak drishti, वो भी लिखेंगे आप. So it consists of the grasp and acceptance of the Four Noble Truths, rejection of the false doctrines, and avoidance of immorality. मतलब आपने समझा Four Noble Truths को भी, आपने गलत path को भी reject किया, और आपने जो false doctrines हैं, गलत views हैं about life, वो भी reject किए. That's your right view. Samyak drishti. Okay, moving on. Right aspirations. Once you got right view, now you need right aspirations. Matlab, aspirations are your goals, right? Aspirations are your goals. What are your goals in life? What do you aspire to? जिस तरह हम बोलते हैं, I aspire to be a philosopher. I aspire to be a scholar. Right? So aspire करना हुआ जो आपका goal है. So right, जब आपके पास view सही होगा, so you will aspire good things. Obviously, can be understood like that, which is कि you are aspiring You are aspiring to get liberation. You are following the path of renunciation. Renunciation हुआ वही जो हमने बात की थी of asceticism. सब कुछ त्याग करना, सब कुछ छोड़कर एक बहुत ही सिंपल जिंदगी जीना, not to have desires, not to follow the worldly pleasures, right? So that is right aspirations. Moving on. Oh, I don't have this. Yeah, here. Number 2, right speech. Right speech. Moving on. Third one of the eightfold path is right speech. अब आपका व्यू भी ठीक हुआ, आपने एस्पायर भी किए बड़ी अच्छी अच्छी चीजें, अब आप अपना स्पीच ठीक करेंगे. So how to speak the truth, how to avoid lying, how to be gentle, how to be soothing, all of that. How to avoid falsehood, slander, कि आप झूठ ना बोले, कि slander ना करें, मतलब किसी को बदनामी ना करें, किसी के बारे में गलत ना बोले, वो सब. Harsh words ना use करें, gossip ना करें. Right? You'll have to mute yourself. जितने भी students हैं, mute yourself. Number 4 is right conduct. Now your speech is good. Now let's go to right conduct. Buddha intends by right conduct the practice of 5 moral vows, namely non-violence, truthfulness, non-stealing.
क्यों अपना कैमरा खोल मैं दिखा अपनी मनोज के शक्ल
Yeah, you'll have to mute yourself. Everyone, please mute yourself. हाँ, हो गया ये. Right conduct हमारा होगा क्या? Samyak karma. As we understood, karma is related to action. There's the law of karma, which is birth or rebirth जिससे होता है. But there, karma in its root word means action. So right conduct will be, Buddha intends by right conduct the practice of the 5 moral vows. We have to understand, if you've seen Buddhist monks, they don't eat non-vegetarian food. They live a life of पूरा ना renunciation, ना same कपड़े पहनते हैं, दुनिया और material pleasures नहीं follow करते हैं वो सब. So all of this path, all of these characteristics are in this the right conduct. So आपका non-violence है, आपका truthfulness है, non-stealing है, right? Just a minute. ऐसे ही रहना आप. Moving on. Right livelihood. Right livelihood. Samyag ajiva. So we had right view, right aspirations, right speech, right conduct, अब right livelihood. As you can see, there's a progression. पहले आपका view बदलता है, फिर आपकी aspirations बदलती है, फिर आपकी speech अच्छी हो जाती है, फिर आपका conduct in general अच्छा हो जाता है, और फिर livelihood जिससे आप पैसा ला रहे हैं, जो भी आप अपने लिए livelihood is the the money that you get for yourself, the food that you eat. And this also becomes right, in the sense you avoid a luxurious life and acceptance of occupations which do not involve cruelty and injury to other living beings. And Buddha exhorts to avoid occupations like sale of alcohol. Yeah, you'll have to mute yourself. Everyone, please mute yourself. So this is right livelihood.
मैं नहीं दूंगी मोबाइल गेम खेलो बाकी गेम.
फिजा आप म्यूट कर दीजिए अपना ये माइक. You'll have to mute yourself. Good. So moving on, right livelihood. अब आपका सारा ठीक हो गया. Now you're going to fix your livelihood. Next one is right effort. Right effort includes the effort to avoid the use of evil, false ideas in the mind. पूरा अपने आप को सही करना है. ठीक, उसके बाद right awareness, which is awareness of the body. Now you're going deeper. After effort, now you're going into your mind. So it represents the awareness of the body. You are aware of yourself. You are aware of your existence. And finally, right concentration. You are now at the stage where you can meditate. जब वो पूरा दुनिया के जो मसाइल हैं आपके दिमाग से हट जाएंगे and you're completely free from the things of this world, now you can get right concentration. But you don't have to write detailed notes on that. If you get a detailed question on the Four Noble Truths, you'll write thoda thoda. Just on these 8 things, you'll write thoda thoda. Right view, right aspirations, right speech, right conduct, right livelihood, right effort, right awareness, right concentration. If you don't want to remember these ये जो Sanskrit words हैं, जो ये Pali words हैं, samyak, smriti, samyak, ये सब, you don't have to remember these because ये हमारा main focus नहीं है. हमारा main focus है next topic जो है हमारा वो है ये theory of causation or the doctrine of dependent origination. अब आप एक काम करिए, let's not go deep into this आज, we'll do it on Monday, but I want you to write this down in your notebooks, the doctrine of dependent origination or pratitya samutpada. That's what it's called. Pratitya samutpada, the doctrine of dependent origination. Pratitya samutpada. इसके नीचे आप लिख सकते हैं, this is the theory of causation. This is the theory of causation in Buddhism. In Buddhism. So just to give you a brief idea on what this entails is इंशाल्लाह हम ये मंडे को कवर करेंगे, मगर थोड़ा सा मैं आपको इसमें आइडिया दे देती हूँ क्या है ये. हमने कहा 4 नोबल ट्रूथ्स जो थे, जो हमने इससे पहले पढ़े, लाइफ इज सफरिंग, लाइफ इज फुल ऑफ सफरिंग, सफरिंग हैज अ कॉज. This word cause, I want you to concentrate on that. The word cause. मतलब बुद्धा does see कि suffering ऐसे ही फजूल में नहीं है. Suffering is linked to a cause. और अगर वो cause ही हटाया जाए तो suffering भी हटेगी. So ये जो cause का है, this idea of a cause, this study of a cause is called causation. और ये जो पूरी theory फिर बुद्धा डेवलप करता है इसी पे कि किस तरह सफरिंग के कॉज को खत्म हो किया जाए. और सफरिंग इज रिलेटेड टू थिंग्स which are its causes. Like we said, number 1 cause of the suffering is desire. Number 1 cause of suffering, according to Buddhist philosophy, is desire. If we can finish desire off, we will finish suffering, according to Buddhism. So वही हम inshallah पढ़ेंगे इसमें, which is the doctrine of dependent origination. If you can see dependent origination, मतलब there is something, मतलब एक link है. एक लिंक है, और जब भी कोई चीज ओरिजिनेट होएगी इन द वर्ल्ड, वो किसी चीज पर डिपेंडेंट होएगी, वो ऐसे ही नहीं ओरिजिनेट होएगी. That's why it's called the doctrine of dependent origination. मतलब whatever originates in the world will be dependent on some things. Whatever originates in the world will be dependent on some things. So I'll share with you this PDF. Just go through that. और इंशाल्लाह मंडे को हम ये पूरा complete करके we'll move on to now Nyaya and the Orthodox schools. All right. So thank you everyone for joining. Take care, and I'll share this with you. All right. Assalamu alaikum.